formerly homeless. So if that's something that's gonna bother the neighbors, don't ask for supportive housing if you don't want it. So that's all I have to say about that. It exists, you know.
I mean, I think if these conversations are, I understand that there's not gonna be a quorum in December, but we continue this.
Yeah.
But if there's a way to find out more about that, I think it would make a lot of sense in terms of being able to assess whether this is something that people in this community could have a chance of having access to versus not. But I don't think,
It exists, and I think that, you know, if you want those subsidies to come through, you have to ask for it.
yeah,
So that's my recommendation.
I think also to Josh's point, like you can go and say we want all of these affordable at X, you know, AMI, but like without understanding the programs at more nuanced level. And like I appreciate all the nuance that you have, Suki, but I think there's like a lot that we're probably not unearthing in this conversation. So I think it's like just practically very challenging to come up with like what a target would be and what's practical to achieve. And I think maybe going forward as like more holistic method, maybe we have like the zoning framework, and we have like an affordability framework as well, so we can have a more robust conversation like this going forward, might be helpful.
That's the one.
So I think if we are gonna do what Yaka was saying and actually try to engage in the process, we can't vote on this right now.
Yeah.
That's not engaging, it's not negotiating, we're literally just giving up our voice now when we don't have to. I don't think that it's, like, we can get a forum, like, if people commit to doing the forum, you know, but like,
We're talking about the full board.
oh,
These people don't show up in December, and it's happened in the past. This is what I'm very concerned about.
Never, almost never
I mean,
had a forum.
I don't-
Historically, almost never.
I don't have a problem passing something general, like below 60% of AMI, and, you know, leaving it open for further resolutions if we're around in December. You know, that would be my recommendation, is that we get something down, and we get something down on the zoning that leaves us a lot of room. You know, like I said, R6 BMIH is essentially a down zoning, and it covers us, right? So
Should we put something in there with office space, need office space?
I think we can put that in the resolution, that we're interested in the commercial portion, we want to promote that, but we have, you know, given our concerns, this is the zoning that about height, about density, about, you know, secondary displacement, this is what we want on the zoning. And we expect any further,
Right.
you know.
So can you simplify that? You want to support the commercial, you want to support office space, when it comes to upzoning, you want to limit it to what?
Okay, so
As
support
correct.
commercial.
It's not use language like zone,
Or
but just
office
simplifies
space.
the
You
business.
understand what I'm saying about
Identifying office space or
It really is
affordable
very,
office
very
space?
close to as of right, except it says that the as of right residential.
It's affordable office space, yeah?
Without-
If you want to pay $2,000 a month,
How would you know that?
They would do the all commercial, if we actually pass that zoning, they would do the all commercial. But should they ever consider converting to residential, there would be an affordable requirement.
so you're talking about council.
Yes,
How do we have the voice then?
And the state is having the same.
because it allows the council member to negotiate upwards in exchange for additional work,
And they're having difficulty
right?
finding.
I mean,
But she has nothing to
our zoning
negotiate with other
framework.
than subsidies
It's
and density. So she can give additional density in exchange for additional affordability from there.
Can we afford them? And the answer is no.
And maybe that gets us to.
So we're not gonna discuss the AMI or any of that stuff, right?
We're gonna say below 60% of AMI is what we want to target. So 60% of below 60% of AMI, including deep affordability,
For one person, it's $54,000.
for,
For one person, it's $54,000.
what are you talking about, for 60%?
50% AMI.
50%, okay, do you wanna do below 50%?
Sure. Yes. I,
Realistically, I don't think this project is big
No.
enough to go too deep.
One,
And I think we got like, we can just keep saying lower and lower numbers, and we can say 20% AMI, and like, it's just gonna be like, maybe the numbers aren't necessarily there on the financials is a challenge.
I mean, what I would say to you is, it's possible we have projects like that, like Vital Brooklyn,
But it's
that they're
government
100%.
projects.
Right, they can always be 100% subsidized, provided the developer is willing to work with that,
But then you're gonna have homes.
right?
Vital Brooklyn has, you know,
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I think you have to simplify this. Decide what you, it's simple.
Do you want something in the 40, 50, 60% range?
What was your original suggestion?
I lost it. I can't remember the last time we looked at it.
60 was the original.
60 was the original.
60 and below, including the affordability, I think is reasonable.
60 and below what? Below 60 and
Below 60 and below 60. So
and what percentage affordable?
the percentage of affordable will be what is set by the R6B MIH. And any density increase that is negotiated above that would have to be affordable at 60%
So,
of
right,
the.
this is a lot of information. As of right, they have 10 floors, they have 9 floors.
As of right, they have 2.0 FAR, which is probably two floors, 4 floors.
No, that's not what was presented.
No, that's 9 floors.
9
No, Hector, that's not, whatever they choose, however high they choose to build the building, they have a 2.0 FAR. That's usually
So can we have, let's hear.
4 to 6 floors. There's no, it's sky exposure claim, right? But that's why I'm saying R6B is a 50, is a, MIH is a 55-foot height limit. Okay, you guys, it's not, you gotta think
We
about
have
it, not in terms of
It's okay,
floors, but in terms of density.
I appreciate it, but they're still here. Can somebody clarify what the facts are? Because I heard them say 9, 10 floors, and you're saying 4
It's a
floors.
sky exposure claim, they can build as high as they want, there's not a fixed height limit, okay? But it's a relatively low density limit, you probably wouldn't get to 9 stories, right?
It's a 2.43 FAR max in the R6 for a height factor building. So the way that probably the most realistic building would be at that 9 stories. And you would have to taper as you go up to the top because you can't hit that sky exposure plane, but that's the architect's analysis that he did, and it came out to that doesn't have like these ridiculously narrow floor plates, would come up to approximately that 9 stories.
That's without any affordable.
Teresa,
That's without any
if you
affordable,
ask-
that's in the R6.
So we have now 4 floors to
Teresa,
negotiate.
if we asked for the R6B MIH, that would be a 55-foot height limit, that's 5.5 stories, okay? And it would be a 2.2 density.
Are we down something now? Are we down something? Why would the developer down something?
So,
Not only you're not having a voice, you're asking them to down something.
They wouldn't, they would build it all commercial on
They
these
want to go all-
We have to decide, do we want a voice and do we want
Okay,
affordable?
Jakob, let me explain. This is the starting point for a negotiation to go beyond the MIH affordability levels, because people are saying, the councilwoman has said, she wants better than MIH. She wants better than the 25-30%, right? So this is the floor from which we're going, right? She wants to go higher, then they need to provide greater affordability. Did you understand what
I
I'm saying?
understand what you're saying, but I don't think it's gonna be perceived as irrational. I think it's gonna be perceived as irrational, it's gonna be trash. I think you have to say exactly what you want and make it clear, and how to say it to protect. You want what percentage affordable, what percentage AMI,
We want
and
the
be clear.
highest
You
possible.
don't ask them to down something, who's gonna take you
Jakob,
seriously?
we want the highest possible percentage. Am
So
I
let's
right?
say it, so say that. Just be clear, don't assume you're gonna down
We want the
something.
highest possible percentage, but we want the negotiation to start at 5 stories and go up, because we have
But
9
it's
stories.
as of right 9 stories, how can you
No,
negotiate below?
okay, but not if we put an R6B MIH zoning on it. Then it's a 5.5 story.
Okay, let's
But
do that.
it's not the as of right, how can you?
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion, it's getting late.
Let's do it.
Do I have a motion?
Can you make a simple,
Do I have a motion?
yes,
Let's make a motion for C82, R60, MIH. Is that it? Is that what we're doing? That sounds good.
At
finding that in the interest of the developer?
It's,
I don't like bringing it out.
Well, they would do all commercial, if that was actually
They're not-
passed, they would do all commercial.
how do you know?
Because that's the best option.
They're gonna sit down with the council, they're gonna cut a deal, and they're gonna get less than we're asking for. They'll get 30% instead of 50%, and they'll get 80% instead of 60%. That's what's
Do
gonna
I
happen.
have an alternative proposal for
Yes.
this range?
Max had a proposal, originally.
Do I have an alternative proposal from this range?
CA2R.
Yes, under commercial.
6B MIH was looking good here. With 50% AMI or below.
Do I have a second?
It's not a rational proposal.
To be clear, Teresa, the one you guys are referring to, it's the that you're requesting a downzoning on this site.
Okay.
That's the one you're requesting, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, just so I understand.
Do I have a second?
Is that exactly?
Why don't we maybe-
You're reducing the cost. Which is a downzoning.
Yes.
Yes, it is, so it is a downzoning.
Do
Okay.
I have a second? Okay, I don't have a second. Do we have an alternative proposal?
That's right.
Is there a way to make a binding, to have them commit to a binding communication and negotiation with the community board rather than just a response?
No.
I heard it's not.
No, we can make our, this is our chance to make our recommendation.
What was the objection? What was the objection? What was the objection? The yes in the commercial and no on residential unless it's 100% affordable, unless it's 50%, 60, and
What
whatever.
do you
it is.
mean by yes on the commercial? How much commercial do you want, right? Like, look at this sheet,
Because their recommendation was to rezone the entire lot.
right? Because they're talking about, on the commercial, they're talking about a C44D,
Right.
right? Is that what you support? Or do you support a
Do we
C?
object to what, I thought you said only put a target.
Right,
again,
so
that's right.
there's a whole bunch of other commercial options, right? Most of these options, if you look at it, allow, like, look at what I put here on square feet of commercial, right? These options, the as-of-right options, can range from 38,000 to 76,000 square feet. Most of these options are somewhere, some of them are less, some of them range up to 76,000 square feet if they want to. Some of them are more. A C44A potentially goes up to 150,000 square feet. An R70 C45D potentially goes up to 159,000. You know, so what commercial option do you want?
I want to put in a recommendation and be considered.
Okay.
My understanding from this committee was that everybody was happy with commercial, with more commercial, with enough zoning
Right,
commercial.
but what do you, how do
So
you?
whatever they ask for, to give them the commercial and say no on residential unless it's 60% AMI and whatever percentage affordable you want. And that's it. And you would say no conditional unless you do this, and you're putting a clear,
Okay,
you're giving
but
the council member a
how
clear
much
commercial.
commercial do you want? Because it's.
Whatever they ask for, nobody objects to the commercial. Everybody needs the commercial.
Okay, but it
We want to,
comes.
I don't you know, I know I drive 40 minutes to go to Trader Joe's. I rent a car to go to Trader Joe's, that's how much money I save.
But if we rezone it, I don't think we can dictate whether.
And if they give us a credit, they're gonna buy it.
No, that's right, because this has a residential district equivalent.
So we can dictate that
That's
it's
right,
not
you cannot
residential.
dictate that there's not going to be substantial
That's the problem.
non-residential. The only way that you dictate no residential is if you keep the CA2 on a portion of the lot. On the other side of the lot, if you rezone, you have to understand that they have the option of doing either commercial or residential.
Solid.
Yes. Does everybody understand that? And depending on which commercial option you choose, it allows for a different FAR, right? Like the C1 and C2 overlays allow for up to 2.0 commercial, and then it depends on what residential district you choose, how much residential is potentially possible, right? The C4 districts allow a lot more commercial. They allow up to a 4.0 of commercial, and a 4.0 or higher of residential. So if you don't want any residential, don't pick a high district, because it's gonna be their option, what they do.
I get it.
Does everybody understand?
Yeah. You're suggesting a C4A and R7A, you understand?
That's a possibility. I mean, if that's what you're putting forward.
I move, yeah. Yeah,
No.
let's go for it.
Rather, which one is it?
No,
C,
C4A.
C,
R7A MIH.
All right, you're giving them an upzoning on those? With MIH, is that what you said?
Yes.
Sounds like
And an upzoning on Empire Boulevard from a 2.0 to a 4.0.
you're getting affordable return, right?
an upzoning for commercial?
It's sort of a compromise.
But the C4A has an R7 equivalent, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So we're rezoning the whole lot to R7.
Residential as well.
Potentially, yes. Like, you see how I said it could go from basically 0 to 150,000? Potentially, they could do the entire thing commercial, potentially, they could do the entire thing residential. It's at their option.
And we should put a conditional on 60% AMI.
Okay, so
Conditional on 60%
I
AMI.
agree with Nicola that, we don't want it to be at their option, that it's all residential or all commercial. If we want to assure commercial, the only way to do that is to keep the CA2 on part of the law.
Listen, like I said, we're part of this conversation. We're not, you can't ask for it down. It's not gonna work.
As of right, is not a down.
No, as of right, they don't need us. So if we want to get affordable return, we have to give them something. So this is a compromise. C4A, R7, a conditional on 60% AMI, otherwise it's a no. We're
All right,
getting,
let's
we're giving,
call
we're
question.
getting.
Do I have a second for Yakup's proposal?
I'll second it.
Okay,
So,
let's take a roll call vote.
What's the proposal?
C44A, R7A, and
Conditional on 60%
Yes.
AMI.
I agree.
Okay. John,
Yes, I agree.
Teresa?
No.
I'm a no as well. I think it comes much too close to our height cap, doesn't allow for any negotiation on the affordable.
yes.
No.
Yes.
Now, what is it?
Okay,
That's
so,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Split five and five.
okay, so we need another proposal.
We don't.
Okay, so we need another proposal.
Split is 50/50.
I'm gonna go down one notch from there, and I'm gonna say split C82 and R7A MIH. Is anybody willing to change their vote on that?
So what are the implications of changing to that?
Okay, so the implication would be that on the C82 side, which is more than half the lot,
Yep.
the density would be limited to 2.0, and it would have to be commercial.
What-
Residential couldn't
That's
take place on that
So we're
side.
taking away the
So
affordable.
do you see the difference?
So, Suki, so the,
It's not taking away the affordable, it's limiting the number of units, and it's guaranteeing the commercial on the Empire side.
so it reduces the total number of
Yes.
affordable units. As well as the total
Residential
number.
development.
It reduces the
No, not-
total number of affordable and market rates, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So is anybody?
How much is it
willing to
reduced
change
by?
their vote on
It's
that?
up to their design. There's no-
What is, can you give
The
us?
bottom line is, we have so much residential development going on right now in that little pocket. Plus Millstream,
So
plus
one,
whatever else as of right. We don't really need even commercial.
As to-
Or would it also be
Is there a way, like,
There's a greater amount of affordable units, I guess, which is the thing that I struggle with a little bit, is that like, having a greater number of affordable units, I think, is meritorious, especially when there's also development happening as of right. So I think that's like kind of where I start.
I mean, I think what I want to remind people is there, and this is part of what a comprehensive housing plan should have done. There is other places where we can put affordable housing. There are other 30,000 square foot plus sites.
Where
Some of them
would
are
you
church-
recommend?
Some of them are church-owned, we're not going to talk about them now, there's no time. But, there are other, trust me when I say, there are other 30,000 square foot plus sites totally for 100% affordable housing. This is not the last site.
Can we cap it at 10 stories? Can we go back?
Why are we negotiating against yourself? You already said.
Well, maybe somebody will change their votes, if we cap it at 10
Our
stories.
zoning guidelines say 9 stories. Why would we cap it at 10?
Because you have 9 stories as of right. So you have to give to get. So you're saying you have to object to.
No, but the 9 stories as of right is linked to a 2.0 density. The negotiation here is on FAR, not on height. We can put a height limit if we want, but the negotiation is about density, not about height. And by saying 9 stories, by saying 10 stories, you're negotiating against yourself. That's ridiculous. Guys, I'm gonna take another proposal. Do you wanna propose as of right?
Yes.
There's no affordable. How come it's gonna be trash because affordable is a priority for the council.
Okay. Do I have a second on that proposal?
I just want to say that the reason that I'm voting no, and that I will continue to vote no, is because whatever happens here, it's going to be on me and the groups that I work with to try to prevent the displacement that happens. And that displacement is coming no matter what.
Prevent displacement after the other 4 apartment buildings that are built in market and luxury.
That's what I'm saying.
And done shoveling the ground already.
It's going to fall on people like Beverly and myself to keep people housed. And so there's no.
So okay, why don't we cap it at 9 stories?
Do I have a second for that proposal?
Why don't we cap it at 9 stories if it was affordable?
As, you're saying as of right, do I have a second?
So here.
Second, okay, we're gonna take a roll call vote, because people are getting ready to leave.
I move to amend the,
Okay,
we should cap it at 9 stories and give them the slight upzoning, so we'll have the affordable and we'll still have a voice in the game. So you want it to be 9 stories, cap it at 9 stories, that's but don't, as of right means no affordable, and it's not the message we want to send.
so why don't we say,
C4A, R7A, capped at 9 stories. And everybody's happy, every guy can do one.
No, because there's no guarantee that they're gonna do commercial.
There's no guarantee you're gonna listen to us all together. There's no guarantee of anything, but at least we're giving it a coherent
is
message.
there no room to negotiate even an extra 5% of affordable?
We're not binding, she can negotiate no matter what we say, but we're giving her a blueprint.
Right, and the blueprint should start significantly below what our limits are.
Unless.
Not
the-
right
She's
after.
already above that, but she's not gonna go below where she's
Right.
If the bottom is here, all commercial, and with a sprinkle of residential, and she's already above that, she's not coming back down very much at all.
Well, then I don't see any incentive for us.
I'm sorry, who's the she in that sentence?
I mean, frankly, I'm curious that.
Crystal has more to say no.
We might as well say no.
There's more to say.
I'm curious that we were ignored throughout this process and that someone was staying for years. You know, I'm fine with a no, and if we do negotiate, we want any increase in density in exchange for affordability to be all affordable. We want no additional market rate housing. That's the statement that I would be willing to support, you know, no with the condition that any negotiation, for affordability and, you
So
know,
no-
provide no additional market rate housing and capped at 9 stories.
So they got capped out at 100% affordable over 9 stories.
Matt, can they turn around and take away our parking? Can they do that? So like, it's just,
I'm good with it.
you're good with that, I'm not good with that. I'm
Who's with
saying,
what?
Okay.
there are something, there are some.
Okay, we have a second for the, argument with as of right, but any negotiation on affordability has to be capped at 9 stories, and, we want no additional market rate housing over the as of right, has to be all affordable. 60% or below.
I'm sorry, Susan, can you just, sorry, it's been a long meeting. I feel like it's got to be.
No with conditions, and the conditions are that if any further negotiation takes place, we want no additional market rate housing, any additional density
Yeah,
or height that's granted is to be for affordable housing at or below 60%
Yeah, so then-
line.
And both
Or is it those additional 4 stores on top of the as of right 9 stores would be rent stabilized?
Any additional residential over and above the R6, 2.43.
That what they have now?
Yes.
So can you sorry, I'm not good
It's
with it.
9 stories as of right.
Can you explain what that would mean, like in terms of units or floors? I think that
Okay,
4.0 is hard
let's
for
say
me.
she goes up to the 4.0, which is 9 stories. So that means you get an additional 1.6 of affordable, right? So that would be out of the total, that would be, I guess, about 40.
What do you want originally, C82 or R7A?
CA2, R6
That's-
is the active right.
So you were willing to give them R7A, right?
We did, well, that was your proposal, but it failed.
No, my proposal was C4.
That's an R7A equivalent. It's at C4, it's their option whether they want to do 4 floors of commercial or 4 floors of residential or something in between. But that proposal failed, we're moving on.
So CA2, R7A, you won't consider it, huh?
No.
So I don't see what we're doing here, because we're,
Okay, so now we're considering the as-of-right proposal with conditions. That's
But then
a no with conditions.
Well, no with conditions is a yes. If it's not-
As of right with conditions, it makes no sense.
No.
doesn't,
Because they don't,
No.
they can ignore all the conditions because it's as of right.
Right, and we can say, yeah.
We can't condition as of right situation.
Okay, maybe
As of right with a suggestion?
No.
It's all of them.
No, they-
Not as of right.
Okay,
Can I make a
but then
recommendation?
Bronco, that we're just giving up our voice. If we just say no with no conditions and no comment, we're just giving up our voice.
Well, conditions are different than comments. You can't improve something that's as of right.
I mean, I can
your
go.
issue with CA2, R7A is what?
I can go with that.
CA2, R7A?
R7A,
And then we have a majority.
saying that we expected that additional height from the R6 current state is affordable.
So I move to amend the proposal of CA2, R7A.
How many units would that result in affordable by
That's
one?
the part that you can't require. Once the R and the MIH is granted, that's only the 25 or 30%.
25-30% why?
Of what MIH?
Yeah, that's why you have to start with the lower zoning and let her negotiate up. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't
So
have
then,
it.
but then you're saying, instead of saying no, but we're willing to do this, then you have to say no, and this is the reason why. There's no, we want deeper affordability. Anything higher than that has to require at least 60% or whatever we come up with.
Any additional density granted has to go towards affordability.
That, you're not giving them any room to negotiate.
Why?
Because-
That's not the point. You're granting additional density.
But you're saying it all has to be affordable, that they lose money on affordable.
No, they
Can I make a
don't.
proposal?
Not in this.
I want to hear Josh's proposal.
Could we just think about what folks in the room are comfortable with and try to vote on that regardless of how it will land with whoever's office next and where? Because, I think we're having both a debate about what would have the most impact when it lands to the council member and also what we would personally be comfortable with. And the reality is both of those things don't line up. So we should just focus on what might be able to get a majority vote in this room right now
Right,
and go from there.
fair enough. Do you want to throw something out?
Well, the proposal I supported died. So, yeah.
Okay.
How about
So the-
C4,
Can I make a recommendation?
100% affordable?
Okay, so do we have the proposal that we had on the table was as of right, right? Are you willing to attach comments to it or conditions? Because that would get my support if we're willing to attach certain comments.
this is, part of this is that you have to do the work afterwards as well, like you have to actually do the lobbying and actually go and speak with the council member. That's where the actual negotiations happen.
So why don't we just say 100% affordable, and then she's starting from,
It's very possible we won't be talking to Crystal.
It-
You gotta know this, yeah. So, like he said, let's get the majority vote in the room,
Yeah, Crystal did.
and we do everything else later.
She lied to us.
Because it's very possible it won't be her, we'll have to negotiate.
I have to be honest, I think that no with no conditions is going to lead to her continuing to ignore you.
I'm fine with no and an explanation,
She's
actually.
fine with us anyway, so.
If that means conditions, I don't know what you mean by conditions, that we
but
want.
do we now want, do we want them to do an enhanced commercial space or not? Do we want them to do a little more, do we want a Target, do we want a Trader Joe's, do we want that area to
Guys,
have
but
a?
we can't guarantee that unless we have a.
So we don't, I don't know that we have to vote on an actual zoning change, I think we say this is what we want. We wanna see, and put it very clear what we want, we wanna see any affordability should be 60% AMI, any upzone should be more than 50% affordable with a majority 60% AMI, and we'd like to see commercial within whatever reason we have, without taking
I would also like to say that, I think we're deadlocked on the specific zoning category. 'Cause like, I
It
think
has
there's,
to be, it's a rezoning.
I know that, but I'm trying to at least make it so we
You
can
know,
leave
I
and go home to our families, so maybe we can go.
I think that Max, I think that the reason why we always end up with a bad result is because we say whatever we say and it's very vague, and then the council members go and negotiate something that is completely like not along the lines that we were thinking. We're not giving them any guidance, right? We saw that just happen with Franklin Avenue, that, like I just saw a report in the press, that, she's actually like gotten a worse deal, it seems, than what the city planning commission approved. She went from 11 stories to 14 stories, and from 60% of AMI to 80 to 120% of AMI. How did that happen?
So can we deny housing, can we do CA2, deny housing unless it's 100% affordable?
Okay, so you're talking about the split CA2 and what? Because no, you cannot mandate 100% affordable
We
with
did-
zoning. The only way to do this, Jacob, is you start with whatever the as of right zone.
But as of right,
You
they
tell
don't
them
need
in
it.
exchange for any.
We have to move one
Yes.
person, right? So the question is, do we all want enhanced commercial space and any upzoning should include majority 60% AMI and over 50% affordable? Is that what we want?
I do
So let's
think we
look at-
have to.
Are you saying the 60% AMI, of the 60% AMI, 50% of it be affordable?
No, I'm
Is that
saying
what you're saying?
50% of the upzoning
Right.
be affordable, and from that affordability, a majority be 60%
Okay, then
AMI.
I want.
An average,
Then I
whatever.
want the negotiations to be capped, any upward negotiation in density to be capped at 9 stories and 4.0 density, period.
But then you're not giving the room to negotiate.
That's why I said you should start.
Okay, so that's, you should vote no, you should vote no.
So I'm
But the
voting
question
no.
is, we get a majority here that would agree with this, we need one person to change, that's it.
Are we at the CA2, R7?
We're saying that any,
Let them categorize it how they want.
we're just saying that we agree that there's a need for enhanced commercial space. Any upzone with regards to
I'm not
residential
agreeing.
has to be 100, you can vote no, Sue. You don't get to control the motion. You get to vote no, you don't have to agree, it's a vote. But I wanna go sleep, and you're saying down zone, which is crazier than we've ever
Finish
done.
the motion, y'all.
So my motion is that we support an enhanced commercial space. We like the idea of a Target, of a Trader Joe's. We want that commercial, we need the office space when it comes to upzoning as it relates to residential. It has to be, more 50% affordable with an average of 60% AMI. Any upzone,
Let's call the question.
Yeah, I agree.
yes.
I think we need more,
The zoning will,
yeah, it has to be more specific.
yeah,
I think
we
we're
can't
not
guarantee
there.
that.
We're not gonna do that tonight, it's just not
You're
happening.
no,
I know, and that's,
what are you, yes or no?
They'll propose something,
It's
then
the
we'll vote
same
on it.
thing.
God, no, we're not, you're trying to anticipate too much.
Guys, we're voting, Teresa.
Are you gonna
saying any residential.
Vote, it's late, your vote.
Okay,
It's
now,
o-
then, if I don't,
It's over here.
Esteban, Nicola,
No.
I'm a no.
Yes, yes.
The motion
So
failed.
we're the same.
Okay, I'm gonna try, all right, I'm
So
gonna
why
try.
does that go to the
I'm
board?
gonna
Is
try,
that a deadline?
Bianca, I'm gonna make another motion. Split CA2 and R6A and MIH.
But
Do I have a second?
CA to R7A,
Yeah.
R7A.
No, a split CA2 and R6A MIH. That is not a down zoning, it's a significant zone.
Where is that?
Third column on the yellow.
Okay, so that's now.
Beautiful color.
This one, and this is not a down zone?
Is it down?
This is not a down zoning, look at this. Look at this, this is a 3.6, right? Compared with 2 and 2.9, so it's an upzoning on the residential.
Now, as of
Where's
right,
the-
is C1 overlay on someone or C2? It's
Sorry,
first
it's
column,
C1.
that's
CA2, what are we doing?
C1 is going this way.
CA to R6?
is it, it's the next
Second
to
to the last one.
Second to the last one.
So what is the upzone exactly?
The upzoning is from 2.43 under the R6 to 3.6 under the R6A MIH on the residential portion, but no change on the CH2 portion.
On the,
on the Empire
On the
side.
Empire side.
And Sue, the other question, with the C2, would that preclude the enhanced commercial?
No, if they chose to use all of the C2 allowance, they could get up to like 76,000.
let's give them R6A and all this. That's a fair,
So, well, this
No,
one,
C-
so this doesn't have an overlay?
That's what it
It's
is.
$600.
she said only on one side.
So,
So we'll do the commercial, so we'll do the commercial and R6A, well, it's R6A on the whole thing, right?
Okay, do I have a second for this?
Is it R6A on the whole thing or
It
just?
would be
It's
R6A
R6A.
with a C1 overlay on the Sullivan side. On the Empire side, it would continue to be CH2.
So why don't we just give them R6A across the board?
Because that's not the proposal that I'm making. Do I have a second for this proposal?
But then we're losing housing again.
no.
No, we're not, because the current is R6, right?
No, I'm saying that we're
losing based on what they're proposing.
yeah.
Yes, because we don't want
We
something
don't
that
need
big.
housing that big.
We don't need housing that big. There's
How many
1100
affordable units are there gonna be? How many
there's
affordable?
1100 units coming already, and a lot of them are affordable under MIH. We don't
But you're
need
saying
more
you're not
housing.
60% AMI, a lot of them.
Some of them are,
I'm very confused. This is, you know.
including Franklin Avenue that's pending.
Bottom line, right now, we
Yeah,
can't,
you don't need to
they
size
can't
that.
guarantee us any real affordable housing right now. So let's go with the zone that we're comfortable with, and then we can continue.
Okay,
to
let's move on. Yes,
negotiate
all right.
on affordability.
Okay, so do I have a second for this motion?
So this is CA2, R6A, and MIH. I second.
Okay, let's take a vote. Yisroel,
I abstain.
Yaakov,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
I'm a yes.
No.
I'm changing my vote.
Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4,
I'm on the list.
5. Okay, the motion fails.
Wait,
He
Wait,
abstained.
he abstained.
Yeah, he abstained.
He
So it's
abstained.
5-4.
abstain is a no.
Abstains with the
It's a fancy no.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you
so-
do R6A across the board, I'll switch to yes.
Okay, so
I think we
as,
should have made a pros and cons list. Like,
Why can't we?
so what we're.
Can I propose an R6A across the board? I'll go for that as well.
All right.
So I propose an R6A across the
And then
board.
you're breaking the commercial zone.
No.
Or with the commercial.
We're not breaking
is
the
that
commercial.
Because the whole point, they wanna build as much commercial as.
That's
But we're also getting more housing and affordable housing.
Not really.
Housing is important. I know there's 1,100 units coming, but we still need, as much as there is coming, we still need more.
Okay, then why is it reaching Montreal Avenue building 100 units? You could under their 2.6 zoning. I mean, this is ridiculous.
I don't know, the developer doesn't want it.
I think this conversation about this is not germane to this thing, you could just, I don't mean to sound frustrated, but stay focused on this rather than Troy Avenue.
Yeah, in R6A across the board, it seems we have only one, I mean,
Is there a way at R6A or some residential component on both?
So then, but
on
then
the front with the
you're
commercial?
reducing the commercial, the commercial options.
so that's why I'm saying,
But
it's
then you're
the most
overlaying
commercial.
impact.
So the other way to do it is not to pick a category, to just say what we
I
want.
really think we should do
You
that.
have to create a category.
Alright, so
because
I move-
otherwise they're
They
not
will
gonna
create a
fit.
I move that we support a vibrant commercial space on this property, and any upzoning as it relates to housing should be, 60% AMI, we should aim for 50% affordable, 60% AMI as an average.
I think all we can do, based on where everyone sits on this, is just state.
And, yeah,
the
second, somebody second,
Like saying that everything up on the table.
State of principle.
second, so we have,
Okay, I move to amend that to say that
Wait.
any, there needs to be a 9-story height cap and a 4.6 density cap.
you're again, you take, okay, see if you have those. I don't know, but let's see. There's a second.
Well, we understand that. We are understanding.
Okay, so the problem is you're not willing to agree to any.
I am actually, no, I'm saying, if you want to cap,
What's your
They
idea?
don't need us for a 9-story.
I want height to transit at 60% AMI affordability.
And what's your density cap?
If they give us 60% AMI and 100% affordable, then I don't have,
Okay, what about everybody else? Do we have,
if it translates
do
into,
we have bullets for a height and density cap?
What is 100% of?
let's do it, so let's do 1 to 10 floors.
What is 100% of? Oh, I'm sorry, that's fine.
As
Or
well as
50%, 50%
height or density
50%.
cap?
As opposed to what?
As opposed to saying that.
Or let's do 10 floors.
As opposed to saying.
10 floors.
Well, I don't think any of the affordability that we're talking about is potentially what we need in this neighborhood, so, you're asking all for.
So
I don't
10,
think the affordability that we're talking about
Because they can't really consider that
relevant further along.
I don't think that any of the affordability specifically that we're talking about is what we need for this neighborhood.
That's all that
Are
can be
you
said.
willing to vote for anything other than the as
At 11 o'clock.
we don't want to say to R6A, we don't want, so you have a height cap above 9 floors, that's how, you have a height, you want to make it 1 to 10 floors?
I want a density cap of 4.6 and a height cap of 9 story.
So wait, so we agree, look, we agree on, everybody agrees we want to enhance commercial space?
Yeah.
So that we can agree, it's a yes on that, let's,
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either. If it's not
But we
text,
have to
it's-
table this, we have to let Dante know that they have to send different.
I'm still here.
And try to get folks
As
out
of
to the general board meeting in December, but we cannot
That's right.
come to a decision here, it is 11 o'clock. We need more time to debate this clearly. And
Yeah.
I blame them for giving it to us super late,
As of right.
but we
I
have
make a
to.
motion that we recommend as of right.
I second.
we ready to vote it no, we're voting
We're gonna
no.
vote again.
No.
As of
Do
right.
this.
What are we voting on?
What?
What are we voting on?
As of right.
Abstain.
I voted yes, I second.
Yes.
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 No.
Okay,
Hector? As of right. What is your vote?
Motion lost.
so motion lost already, we give it, get that, ready
Hector, what is your?
five to five.
Think about that. No one ever asked to expand it.
There's never this.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Manufacturing.
So that's, I think, what we're saying about.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Good discussion,
Well, you're gonna vote, I'm gonna put this on the agenda at general board meetings.
Nothing.
I mean, if you guys didn't.
Oh, I'm ready for the sheet. Relationship with people, I get to do these things.
discussion in the general board meeting, just to give a flavor for the board, and then leave it up to the board.
I mean, look, if there are people on the.
We gotta put that in, it cannot be.
This is why I put out the rate, I want everybody to look at it, but we don't, we have, it's a body committee. If somebody didn't show up, I'm going to, I think she was being wrong, and people are not
I had so much fun with all my friends. I feel like everyone's so much better now. We feel like a pretty.
okay, well now